Dio, can you hear me? I am lost and so alone. I am looking for your guidance. Won't you come down from your throne? I need a tight compadre who will show me how to rock. My father thinks you're evil, but man, he can rock. 'Cause rock is not the devil's work, it's magical and rad. But I'll never rock as long as I'm stuck here with my dad. It's Dio time, baby. I want to talk about Ronnie James Dio, the god of all things heavy metal. Some say the actual inventor of this hand sign, but I don't think that's necessarily true. But he certainly did bring it to the forefront along with the power that comes with heavy metal. Dio was at the forefront of the birth of heavy metal, mingling with all the right people and coming together in a couple albums that really defined the sound that we know today as metal. So Dio's song that I'm going to cover today is Rainbow in the Dark, which came out on his Holy Diver album in 1983. But Dio's vocals, Dio's power, was heard many, many albums before this and many bands before this, actually. He got started in a few early bands and then joined Mr. Ritchie Blackmore for Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow in the early 70s, mid-70s. Ritchie Blackmore, who you might know or might not know, he formed Deep Purple. The Deep Purple being one of the most influential early rock bands of history, literally. They have incredible riffs, incredible power, but Ritchie Blackmore left Deep Purple early on in their discography and formed Rainbow. First album is entitled Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow in the mid-70s, and Dio was a part of that first album. He was a part of their first 3 albums, and that led him into the late 70s, early 80s, where he met a guy named Tony Iommi, who you might know from Black Sabbath, at a bar called The Rainbow. A lot of Rainbow. There's a lot of magical stuff going on with Dio. Listening to Dio's lyrics, he loves writing about like wizard shit. He loves writing about rainbows and magic and dancing and things, especially this song, Rainbow in the Dark. There's just a lot of rainbows. He wasn't even in Rainbow, and 10 years down the road, he's still writing about Rainbow. Anyway, a lot of magical stuff going on with Dio. Maybe he was actually a wizard. I don't know. Tangent aside, he meets Tony Iommi at the Rainbow, and he joins Black Sabbath. Late 70s into the early 80s. And they put out an album in 1980 called Heaven and Hell, which is a great metal album. Really great riffs, and it's the end of Ozzy's first phase with Sabbath. So having Dio step in, having this powerful voice replace Ozzy, it's great. I love the early Dio Sabbath stuff. That album especially is really good. Really dark, good riffs. And Dio, of course, lending his rainbows and magic to the lyrics and all that stuff. But he gets kind of sick of Sabbath after a couple albums. They're working on a live album, I think, and they're butting heads, so he leaves. So while other bands are just getting started in this heavy metal genre in the early to mid 80s, Dio is able to pull from all of this incredible classic rock and early heavy metal history that he was brushing shoulders with and involved in. And he's able to put out an incredible standout album in 83. And it has Vivian Campbell on guitar with it, who was in just a few notable bands, Whitesnake, Thin Lizzy, and he's now with Def Leppard. So obviously a legend, incredible guitar work, incredible sounds, and obviously the standout is Dio's vocals. His vocals are so distinct. I feel like he is really known for that power that he has in his voice and that. What do you call that? You know? I guess he's got balls. I think there's a reason that everyone in the metal world kind of sees Dio as the metal god, and it is because he was able to fly with his vocals higher than most. Obviously, Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden has an incredible soaring metal voice, But Dio has a little bit more rasp. He has a little bit more edge. It's just iconic. Holy Diver is really regarded as one of the touchstones of heavy metal history. It's the songs on there, including Rainbow in the Dark, are really just filled to the brim with evil and hard rock tones and Dio's magical sprinkling of fairies and rainbows and all that kind of wizardry. An iconic album. Dio is just an iconic figure in music and metal history. The band Dio put out 4 more albums after Holy Diver, and then Dio actually rejoined Black Sabbath in the early 90s after, well, you know this, if you've been watching. Knowing our history now, after watching Cody's videos, Ozzy Osbourne puts out No More Tears in the early 90s, right? So Black Sabbath goes with Dio for 1 more album. It wasn't very good, but they tried. But Dio remained an icon through all of it. He still today is regarded as one of the best metal vocalists of all time, just because he has a presence about him. He has something that he's pulling from that he can give to the world. And I've said before, it's not just for viewership. I really genuinely want to have a discussion with people about people. All of these people creating all of this incredible art are just like you and I. They're humans, but they have this incredible ability to create something that moves so many people and affects so many people. And all of these people have had a history of working with musicians and having things in their personal life affect them that leads them to create such incredible art that now, looking back, we see as literal pieces of music history, life-changing events through albums and songs. And I've always found it so immensely fascinating. And I hope you do too. I hope you share with me. I'd love for us all to learn more about music and its power. Like Jack Black said, rock is not the devil's work. It's magical and rad. I hope you watch again soon. Thank you for seeing me.
When there's lightning, you know it always brings me down. 'Cause it's free and I see that it's me who's lost and never found. I cry out for magic, feel it dancing in the light. It was cold, lost my hold in the shadows of the night. No sign of the morning coming, you've been left on your own, like a rainbow in the dark, like a rainbow in the dark. Do your demons, do they ever let you go? When you try, do they hide deep inside? Is it someone that you know? 'Cause you're just a picture, you're an image caught in time. We're alive, you and I were words without a rhyme. No sign of the morning coming, you've been left on your own, like a rainbow in the dark, like a rainbow in the dark.